Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here to race number 4 of the second season of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, powered by the WRA. After a very interesting Truck Series race that had 2 cautions and our Busch race that had 4 cautions, which was doubled, the Winston Cup Series drivers ready for 110 laps on a 70-degree day. And, of course, joining me is the driver who finished top 5 in our truck race 2 days ago, Danny Johnson.
Hey, folks.
Yep.
What's up?
And, of course, we got Alex joining us in the booth so he can listen to my commentary. But, Danny, I want to say congratulations on your top 5 2 days ago. You definitely need a good run to get yourself locked into the show next week at Auto Club. So, what do you think these drivers are going to do with a longer race, 110 laps to be exact?
I'll be doing a long one to give us the momentum.
Oh, definitely, and it really shook up the points table as far as the Trucks and Busch Series was concerned. Here for the Cup Series, who the heck knows at this juncture of the day? Josephine Bouvier qualified on the pole position in the 99. She is 44th in the points. That's the problem. Good news is she's got good starting track position in that Ortho Ford. She is alongside of Lauren Grubias, who is going to be taking over the 41 for the rest of the season, replacing Ben Erickson. Grubias took part in yesterday's Busch Series race, had a very good run, finished in the top 10. So what did she learn today that will apply to her for this long race? We're going to have to wait and see as far as that is concerned. Luke Knight, who's really having a difficult start to the season, 46th in the points. He is dead last of the drivers that have run every race, excluding Ben Erickson. And he's really having a tough season. And Lucy Myers in the 4 comes in this race 24th in the points table after a good run last week at Las Vegas. You look at the rest of the lineup. Second in points, Tatum Wright, starting shotgun on the field. Command has already been given. And now these 42 Winston Cup drivers will be behind the pace car. Got a couple of Bass Pro Shop cars, but you can pick apart the paint schemes if you ask me. Here are the points presented by Golden Corral. Maddie Crenshaw is the points leader, and she has a 24-point lead over Tatum Wright. Riley Anderson is third in the standings, 28 back. The rookie points leader is Liliana Beta after her win last week at Las Vegas. She's tied with H Bluejay for 4th, 33 back. Michael Anderson, 6th, 37 back, 38 back is Brad Lewis, Monica Towns, Margaret Jacobs, and the Timster. Timmy Turner completes the top 10. He is a total of 40 points back of the points lead. It's time for the United Rentals 500 here at Phoenix International Raceway, and we are green from the desert. I think one thing we've seen all weekend long, turn 4 will be a trouble spot. We also saw in the truck race 2 days ago, the trouble spot being in turn number 2. Saw a couple of trucks got into the wall and got wrecked, and hopefully we don't see that today. Of course, the Busch race was 78 laps. This is, let me do the math in my head, about an extra 38, I would say. Yeah, 38. That was a critical bonus point for Josephine Bouvier to lead, especially when she's like way down the points table, like in the 40s. And of course, she needs a good run to get herself away from the danger zone of having to qualify her way in on time when we go to her home race in a couple of weeks at France. Lauren Grubias just chilling out here in second. We'll be running the rest of the Winston Cup Series for the remainder of the season in collaboration with the Busch Series, just trying to get her experience. And the caution is out for the first time today on lap number 3. We've had a wreck on the front straightaway. Not entirely sure what happened over here. Let's see what happened. I'm trying to figure out who brought out the caution. And apparently we are not... Oh! Monica Town... Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! What the hell? We just had a stack up. Mia Watts has got damage. Elena Aurora's got damage. Carolina Bradley making her debut. Jacob TwoTwo, Brad Lewis, Drake Robertson, Montgomery, Farmer, Beta might have gotten a piece of it. Betty Johnson, Barrett, and Monica Towns was the reason for the caution. But that stack up was very unnecessary. As the caution's out for the first time today, nobody's coming to pit road. Let's jump back, look at a replay, see what the hell happened on the front straightaway. Well, this is what happened. 4 wide did not work really well. Contact between Riley Anderson and Betty Barrett preceded this mess. Lena Aurora is going to drill the Red Baron Dodge. And some damage to Ashley Horton's Rally Chevrolet. And as she continues to slide up the track, Monica Towns will have nowhere to go. That second shot killed the engine on her 19 Dodge. But then what happened on the front stretch? Because Elena Aurora has damage. Yeah, I don't know why she slowed way down. I mean, you're not under caution for the love of... Well, you're under caution. See, Carolina Bradley doesn't know what's going on. He's going to run the back of the 31 there. Ashley Horton's going to hit. And then it's going to just start causing a stack-up effect. Bates is going to run the back of the 17, so a little bit of damage on the M&M Star Wars Ford. That was really unnecessary for a stack-up effect, if you ask me. See how bad the 38's damage is. It's not too bad. Could have been worse, so... But the caution's out for the first time today. We're going to have some drivers out of the races. We're going to head to the restart here at Phoenix. Going to go back to green on lap number 8 of 110. Josephine Bouvier is the leader. Lauren Gruby is second. Third, Lucy Myers. Kevin Joseph fourth with Annie Thomas in fifth. Luke Knight 6th. Michael Anderson 7th. Annie Crenshaw 8th. Ponzalvis 9th. And 10th is Jerry Harvick. Drivers out from that incident, 3 to be exact. Mia Watts, Betty Johnson, and Monica Towns all involved. Johnson and Watts were due to that stack-up effect that was really unnecessary, if you ask me. As here comes Betty Barrett. Okay, Barrett, let's make sure you learn the sentence to slow down there, sister. Please don't cause a wreck. Please don't. Okay, there you go. There you go. Saw that in the Black Mesa Truck Series in Season 2 when a driver came plowing into an incident and it didn't bring out the caution. Well, Betty Barrett did the smart thing, not ran into everybody and kept control of her car. So that's good news. Green flag back in the air here at Phoenix. Good thing Betty Barrett didn't get in trouble with the officials. That would have been pretty bad. As Josephine Bouvier continues to lead. Right now, Lauren Grubius, if things stayed the same, she could possibly put herself in the top 35, get her safe just like that. Of course, she's running the Energizer Bunny on her Dodge. Her second career Winston Cup start. Caution. Don't know who brought out the caution. Our second one of the day. We're only on lap number 11 of this race. Not entirely sure what brought out the caution. Don't know if this is good enough for these drivers to go ahead and come to pit road or not. We'll see. We haven't gotten into a fuel run yet. So the caution out, our second of the day. Let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what caused caution number 2 in the early stages of the United Rentals 500. Hey, this is what happened. We're told it was Nathan Ormond gets hit by Nathan Stapleton, and then they come down into Cody Smart. And around goes the Kellogg Chevrolet. But thankfully, Nathan Ormond gathers it up, doesn't hit anybody else, and he continues on his merry little way. Nathan Ormond came this race second in points. The gal he was trying to run down for the rookie points leader, Liliana Bates, is still stuck at the rear of the field, so Ormond's trying to capitalize on that, but that spin didn't do him any good. But he's still in the race, so that is the good news there. Caution's out for the second time today. Let's get to the restart here at Phoenix. Back to green on lap number 14 of 110. That's, by the way, our third caution of the race. We're only not even 15 laps in. Bouvier still the leader. Grubius, Myers, Thomas, Knight, Joseph, Michael Anderson, Crenshaw, Albinus, and Ben Tennyson welcome him into the top 10. Nobody out of the race after that one. Senor Sean back there in 37th. I wonder if he came to pit road. And in fact, I wonder if some drivers at the rear of the field are taking an opportunity to come to pit road and make some adjustments. Because we're not even in our window to make it the rest of the way. We're only 15 laps, about to be 15 laps in this race. We've already had 3 cautions just like that. Green flag back in the air. The incident involving the 31 for slowing down under that first caution and causing a stack-up effect will be investigated after the race. As Josephine Bouvier currently still your race leader. Grubius is under attack by Betty Barrett. Annie Thomas going to stick the Red Baron Dodge. Use her as a pick to get around the 49. Grubius will fall back to third. Grubius just being a little bit respectful to her older teammate. Of course, Grubius has never done a Winston Cup season before. As Josephine Bouvier currently the race leader now. Now we're starting to get into a long green flag run, barring if we get another caution. That was, by the way, caution 3. I'm keeping track. So we've already nearly doubled the amount, already had more cautions. We've doubled the amount of cautions in the early stages from the truck race. I think we had 4 cautions in Busch. Nathan Ormond has gone a lap down. There he is. Not entirely sure why Ormy went a lap down, unless he came to pit road. Thought I saw some damage on the 88. Nope, I'm just seeing things. That's the good Star Wars colors on Ashley Reynolds um, Ford. This car in the 38, they're promoting Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, even though it's already come out in theaters. If you haven't seen the movie, you probably should go see it. The only time the 88 will have the M&M's colors on that car this week. Courtney Lynn, who got involved in an incident. Wait, is Lynn a lap down? Yes, yeah, she is a lap down. I wonder if these drivers came to pit road for a tire going down or something. Because I don't understand why Lynn Ormond are one lap down. Unless they got nabbed with a penalty, then that's the only explanation. Yep, that's the only explanation right there. So they are a lap down. Looking at the back of the field, Brad Lewis back here. His Ford all battered and smashed. There's Senor Sean. Running in 33rd. Ashley Reynolds, the back end of her Rally Chevrolet. Last week she had the Checkers car. Now she has the Rally's car. Of course, same paint scheme, but it's different branding. Even though it's two companies under the same foundation by one person. Sean running the Menards colors this week. Senor Sean comes into this race 23rd in the points. Needs a good run to get away from that 35th in the standings. Jacob TwoTwo's got a lot of damage on his GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. Luna Farmer, we saw her have a good result in the Busch race yesterday. And she's running in 30th, but remember, the race is very young, as she just got loose coming off of turn 4. But, you know, for Luna Farmer to put this car in the show for the second consecutive weekend, she's doing a very good job, to say the least, in her limited schedule in the Cup Series. Tom Montgomery, there's Liliana Beta, last week's winner at Las Vegas, running the Evo colors on her M&M Star Wars Revenge of the Sith Ford. Remember, the 38, 88 have the same paint schemes. You just gotta look for the UPS logo on the 88. That's the only thing you can tell the difference. As Cody Smart has right side damage on his number 12 machine, the Altel Dodge. It was announced before this season began, Cody Smart will retire from the Winston Cup Series at the end of the season. Of course, he's no longer going to be the team owner for that team. More than likely just join me in the broadcast booth going forward. So this is, as we call Cody Smart's farewell season. Currently running in 24th. Nathan Stapleton, who just raced his way in from the qualifying session. His teammates Madison Toll and Jonathan Hoff will be attempting to qualify the Busch cars next week at Auto Club Speedway. There's Tatum Wright second in points. As the 8 car's got some damage. There's the good kind M&M's car. Really like the M&M's cars. Talked about the Bass Pro Shops. There's 2 of them in the field. The only catch is you just have to look for different paint schemes or a different look on the Bass Pro Shops cars. That's how you can pick them apart. Samantha Granger we're looking at. Of course, she also has the Jack Daniels logo, so that's another thing you can pick apart between the 07 and the 1. Samantha Granger comes in this race 39th, and the points drop 9 spots after last week's race at Las Vegas. Luke Knight way up the track. Alexander Rowe currently in the 13th position in his Winston Cup debut. Timmy Turner. And there's our points leader, Maddie Crenshaw. Maddie Crenshaw beginning her relationship with Ricky Cervantes for Cervantes Motorsports. We've also had a lead change while we were just checking the back of the field. It's that gal right there, Annie Thomas, who is leading this race. Oh, can I remind you something else? She is the defending winner of this event, by the way. Drove the number 23 Stacker 2 Dodge for Bill Davis Racing. Annie Thomas won this race a season ago. Unfortunately for her, she was not high enough in points to have that win count for a spot into the chase for the championship. Announced she would leave Bill Davis Racing after that season. She's now over here with Chip Ganassi Racing. And she's doing a lot better than she did last season. She's up 19 spots to 21st in the points. Of course, Annie Thomas, it's been a long recovery mode for Annie Thomas as far as that's concerned. Of course, she was my first ever female driver I recruited back in the day, back in the early days of the NR community. She's not related to Kyle Thomas or Aiden Thomas or any driver that has the last name Thomas. Of course, she is from Australia. Of course, she has a godfather in Zachary Fitzwater. Currently living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with second mom Betty Johnson. They have a daughter together. There's Annie Thomas still wearing the t-shirt that says, "I love you, Mom and Dad," of course, to her late parents who died in a car accident in Melbourne, Australia. And, of course, she's living a dream here in the U.S. during the off-season, working as a police officer with Betty Johnson, trying to stay in shape. She will turn 31 later this season. Don't know how long Annie Thomas is going to continue racing, but she's just having a good time. That's basically the only thing I can say about her, as the caution is out for the 4th time today. And saw a car slow, Brad Lewis. It's been a bad day for Brad Lewis. I believe he is the reason for the caution. And if you haven't heard already, we're going to have the Lucky Dog starting next week at Auto Club. So that way, if drivers that are off the pace or falling a lap down, they will get the free pass. We'll also have the waiver rounds ready to go, so drivers can get back on the lead lap. Looks like these drivers are going to pit on lap number 39. It would definitely get them into their window to make it the rest of the way. So while they're making pit stops, let's jump back, look at a replay to see what happened to Brad Lewis as we're getting closer and closer to the midway point here at Phoenix. Well, there's going to be some explaining what happened here between these two. See, the 43 had a hell of a run on the 17 and just booted the 17 in the inside wall. I wonder if that was just frustration from Drake Robertson after what happened in the stack up, even though that was on Elena Aurora for causing the stack up to begin with. And unfortunately, Brad Lewis has taken his car back behind the wall, so he will have to go to the infield care center according to the rules. And he jumped up 22 spots to 7th in points after last week at Las Vegas. Unfortunately, he's going to fall out of the top 10 in the standings. That is the caution for the 4th time today. Let's get to the restart here at Phoenix. Well, Annie Thomas won the battle at pit road. Notice some skid marks over here in turn number 1. Not sure where that came from. As we're going to go back to green on lap number 43 at 110. Thomas is the leader. Bouvier second. Grubius is third. 4th is Michael Andersen, as I'm waiting for the lap cars to go by so I can continue through the running order. Jerry Harvick up to 5th. Ben Tennyson 6th. Annie Crenshaw, 7th, with her older sister Maddie in 8th. Samantha Granger 9th, and H Bluejay will complete the top 10. It is a valve that broke on Brad Lewis's car, so he will fall out of the top 10 in the points. 38 drivers still in the race, 35 of them on the lead lap. His car is off. Courtney Lynn, Nathan Ormond just trying to get back on the lead lap. Both are going to be up to speed, so they will have a chance. If I'm Annie Thomas, I would just let both Ormy and Courtney Lynn go. But like I said, if this was next week, Courtney Lynn would have gotten the free pass, would have been back on the lead lap. Same with Nathan Ormond. Can't wait to do the free pass. Starting at Auto Club next week. Annie Thomas, there's Josephine Bouvier, the only driver from France today. Not sure if we had an incident that preceded the issue. There's Drake Robertson. Got a car in trouble. H Bluejay's in trouble. Oh no! Ashley Horton just ran in the back of Luna Farmer. That was because H Bluejay had a problem, was trying to get out of the way. Unfortunately, ran a lot of people over. So now Farmer's got damage because of that. Ashley Horton's got more damage, and here comes H Bluejay to pit road. Luna Farmer did save the car, though. So we're still green flag racing, but what a tough break for H Bluejay. Was running inside the top 15. Now she's going to go a lap down as a result. Ashley Horton, that just sums up her start of the season for that 10 bunch. Sean Art running in 22nd. There's Luna Farmer. That's a shame. She was just trying to get some experience. A lot of damage on that 60 machine. It's unfortunately going to take her out of contention for a solid result, so that's a shame, as the 10 has already taken the hood off of the rallies She's already had a bad day. There's Todd Montgomery. Got damage to the back end of the Jasper's Dodge. Somebody else just came off of pit road. Okay, that was Hannah Bluejay. Very much an unscheduled pit stop for the Lowe's Chevrolet. Just had a lead change. Josephine Bouvier got around Annie Thomas. We have the tale of the three female drivers. One who won the championship in the Monster Energy Series in 2015, one that is the only French driver in the field, and one who did well in the really been impressive of Lauren Grubius. And I talked about this back in the Coca-Cola Truck Series, that at some point you will start seeing Lauren Grubius maybe go up into the top tier series. And, a lot of people don't know what to expect, from Grubius. Like, take last week from Las Vegas, for instance. She never had any testing with Chip Ganassi Racing until we got to pole day qualifying. She didn't knew she was going to replace Ben Erickson, which, by the way, Ben Erickson will be in the 13 for the rest of the season. He'll have to attempt to qualify that car into the show. So it's basically the, quote, demoted part got put in that situation. And you look at Lauren Grubius, had a solid run last week, kind of a respectable run. Now here she is at the front of the field. And she's hoping that this good result could get her in the top 35, which things are looking good for that number 41 Dodge as we are past the halfway point of this race here at Grubius, really a much respectable driver. Good run for Jerry Harvick up here in third. Ben Tennyson, well needed run for him. Courtney Lynn not on the lead lap. Courtney Lynn one lap down in 33rd. Luna Farmer did have to come to pit road to repair some of the damage. She is now one lap down in 34th. As Ashley Horton, they just put another lap down on. Josephine Bouvier has led a good part of this race. Just trying to get herself into possibly a chance to go to victory lane. I want to see if Josephine Bouvier ever won in the Winston Cup Series, if I recall. Josephine did go to victory lane. I'm trying to remember where. She did make the playoffs. She was unfortunately eliminated. Josephine Bouvier's last win in the Winston Cup Series, the track we'll be going to in a little bit. Martinsville, but it'll be the dirt version of Martinsville. Whoa, Grubius got a bit loose going into the corner. Oh, that's why the caution's out for the 5th time today. And who is that on pit road? That's Farmer. Farmer has had more trouble. That's such a shame for Farmer. Definitely not the caution that Josephine Bouvier wanted to see. As the caution is out, our 4th one of the day. It looks like nobody's going to come to pit road. So let's jump back, look at a replay, see what happened to the 60. This is what happened to Luna Farmer. It's like something broke coming off of turn number 4. Lucy Myers just roughs her up. Not sure what the deal was. Tom Montgomery runs in the back of the 60. And then I really want to know what these drivers have against Luna Farmer, because apparently Farmer has a problem trying to get out of the way and just rudely shoved her up the track for really no reason. And unfortunately, Farmer's going to come to a stop. It's like something mechanical. Is that what really brought out the caution? There's where the yellow lights come on. And I think it was when she stopped on the track, the officials had no choice but to bring out the caution. So, as a tough break for the gal who really had a good result. Unfortunately, it looks like, I don't know if her day's going to be done or not. So the caution's out again. Let's get to the restart here at Phoenix. Going to go back to green again. Going to complete 68 laps, get on that number. Bouvier the leader. Grubius second. Jerry Harvick third. Annie Thomas fourth. Ben Tennyson fifth. Tatum Wright sixth. Ashley Reynolds seventh. Faco Seaman eighth. Kevin Joseph ninth. 10th is Michael Andersen. So it looks like the problem on the 60 is not terminal. So she's going to continue on. Unfortunately, she is now 4 laps down as a result. Want to remind everybody, this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmit or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. As we're back to green here at Phoenix. World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. As Courtney Lynn trying to get back on the lead lap along with Nathan Ormond. They're both one lap down respectively. So if they can catch a quick caution, they can get back on the lead lap. As the three Hendrick drivers trying to get back on the lead lap, Courtney ran a little bit high. Nathan Ormond is in front of the leaders. Ormond hoping for that caution. Which is our fifth caution, which if we get another caution, be our fifth one of this race. Unfortunately, we're not seeing the yellow, so we're still green flag racing. Ben Tennyson up here at the front. Good run for Ben Tennyson. Is the caution out? Caution's out! That's what Nathan Ormond wanted to see. Crenshaw's involved. Annie Crenshaw, that is. And Nathan Ormond has raced himself back on the lead lap just like that. H Bluejay will get one of her laps back. She'll be 2 laps down on this restart. So Nathan Ormond has a chance for a good result. Caution number 5 here at Phoenix. Jump back, look at the replay, see what happened to Annie Crenshaw. This is what we call a cluster of a mess with the 10. And looks like Annie Crenshaw got turned by Samantha Granger. Drake Robertson also got into this mess as well. Also collected Ashley Horton, so that's karmic retribution for the 10. Goes into the wall. Even though she doesn't have any rear end. Unfortunately, Annie Crenshaw was an innocent bystander. She was 21st at the time of the incident. That's not good for Annie Crenshaw coming to this race 11th in points. So a lot of drivers who came in running very well in the points really did not need something like this to happen. Or no, that was last season. I'm sorry, I need to look at this season. See, this is what happened. I'm getting old. I was looking at the wrong points. I should be looking at last week's points. No, that was not what I wanted, you stupid phone. So, tough break for Annie Crenshaw. And Crenshaw was 27th in points, not the run she was hoping for. As we're going to head to the restart here at Phoenix. Well, if Courtney Lynn saw Nathan Ormond get himself back on the lead lap, I bet she'll do the same thing for herself. As we're going to go back to green flag racing here. Josephine Bouvier is the leader. Ben Tennyson now second. Annie Thomas third. J Harvick in fourth. Where did second in the points Tatum Wright come from? She was at the rear of the field after getting involved in that first yellow. She's in fifth. Good job to her. Kevin Joseph sixth. Lauren Grubius seventh. Banco Seaman, Michael Anderson, Jessica Miller. First time we've said Jessica Miller's name here in the top 10. Nobody out of the race from that incident. Nathan Ormond is going to restart in 33rd. Now he's back on the lead lap. So Courtney Lynn needs something to happen to Bouvier or need another caution so she can be in front of the leaders, get herself back on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air here at Phoenix. Up, I heard scratch. Caution! Big wreck in turn number 3. Oh, this is the big one. Robertson, Farmer, I think, got a piece of it. Yellow again. Someone was in the grass. That was Gitteroff. Caution again, but good news for Courtney Lynn. She's gaining some position. She needed more drivers to have trouble. But our 6th caution of the day at Phoenix. Let's jump back to the replay. We're almost an hour into this race here at the desert. Well, I don't know what everybody has against Luna Farmer, but for the love of Pete. See, Farmer is trying to get out of the way. It looks like her spotter didn't realize the 0 was right next to her. By the time she realized that, it was too late. So in the wall goes to 60. And Tatum Wright gets a little shot there by Ashley Horton. So I'm really not so sure what's going on with these drivers roughing up Luna Farmer, who's just minding. And then, wow, Drake Robertson just plowed into the back of the Best Buy Chevy. Oh, by the way, that's second in points who didn't need to be involved in that wreck. I mean, look at that. He's already sped up, just slammed in the back. Tom Montgomery got a piece of it. But Drake Robertson just slammed in the back of Tatum Wright's Best Buy Chevrolet. Now, Tatum's got damage as a result, and that's second in points, so that was not what Tatum Wright needed. That was what the gal who Tatum Wright was trying to run down for the points lead needed, Maddie Crenshaw. But Drake Robertson, his day is going to be done. He's already had a dismal day, and Drake Robertson came into this race in that critical 35th in 35th in the points, that critical 35th in the standings. So this was not what he needed. As the yellow is out, let's head to the restart at Phoenix. Back to green here at Phoenix International Raceway. Josephine Bouvier is still the race leader. Annie Thomas is now second. Ben Tennyson third. Jerry Harvick in fourth. Vanko Seaman in fifth. Lauren Gruby is sixth. Kevin Joseph seventh. Michael Andersen eighth. Ponzo Alvarez ninth. 10th for Marco Jacobs. This guy needed a good run because he is so far down outside the top 35 in the standings. So Drake Robertson now out of the race. He will join Brad Lewis, Mia Watts, Betty Johnson, and Monica Towns all back behind the wall and out of the race. Right now, 5 of the 42 starters have DNF'd from this race. Back to green here at Phoenix. Courtney Lynn, desperate to get back on the lead lap, needs a caution. And not only that, Annie Thomas is going to come by to take the race lead. And so far, so good. We're still green. Now, Courtney Lynn just needs a caution to get back on the lead lap. Would make it 33 drivers back on the lead lap. Now for the lead between Bouvier and Annie Thomas. Oh, I think we have a caution. No, we don't. There's smoke in turn number 3. I don't know who this involved. Whoever it involved has continued on. We are still green. as Courtney Lynn is just pulling away from Thomas and Bouvier. Of course, she's trying to get back on the lead lap, by the way. So it looks like we've had another incident. The catch is it did not bring out the caution. Annie Thomas leads that lap. Here comes Jerry Harvick. Those two have been good friends, Annie Thomas, Jerry Harvick. We'll definitely look and see where that smoke came from, as I believe the caution is not out yet. No, we're still green. See the two M&M's cars back here at the rear of the field. We're still clean and green. Jerry Harvick, who was the hunter, is now the hunted. Jerry Harvick looking for his third win here in the Winston Cup Series, his first on the season. His last win was at Papyrus, which was towards the end of the regular season last season. Down to 20 laps to go in this race, a very long race we have for you today. There's Luna Farmer, all beaten and battered. As nobody has had an answer. Nathan Ormond's up to 19th. After he spent most of this race one lap down with an issue. Whatever issue they found on Nathan Ormond's car, they got it fixed. And Ormy Bear, as Courtney Lynn likes to call him, now is getting some positions. And how about Senor Sean? He was all the way back in the 20s, low 30s for the first part of this race. He's up here in the top 10. Oh, well done for that Robbie Gordon Motorsports number 17. Senor Sean's really been trying to stay out of trouble for most of this race. He's really doing a very good job going around Luke Knight. That's a well-needed run for Luke Knight. As Jerry Harvick is starting to catch up to Courtney Lynn, put her back a lap down. But remember, Courtney Lynn needs a caution desperately. Daniel Gitteroth, we're being told, is 2 laps down. So I'm starting to wonder if those skid marks in turn number 3 had something to do with him. And if that's the case, that's a tough break for Daniel Gitteroth. Courtney Lynn trying to stay on the lead lap. Of course, Courtney Lynn enjoying that nice clean air. She would love a caution to come out. Try to get herself back on the lead lap. And Daniel Gitteroth has gone behind the wall, so he is out of the race. So he will not see the checker flag as a result. Courtney Lynn trying her best to stay on the lead lap. There's Carolina Bradley. Been some rumors that she would be the driver replacing Cody Smart, according to the rumors, which I would not be surprised about that right about now, to be honest with you. Courtney Lynn trying to get a caution. Goodness for her, she's about to pass a car that's going to hold up the leaders. So that way she can get away. As we're down to 10 laps of racing to go, by the way. At least Courtney Lynn would get to the rear of the field. As they have now caught up to Ashley Horton. As the 18 is just going to follow it, Courtney Lynn through. Really good race from J Harvick. And a Bluejay's up here to get one of her laps back. Remember, that is not for position. Annie Thomas looks like she's going to settle for second. Unless we get a late race restart. Nathan Ormond's up to 17th, so nice bounce back run for Nathan Ormond. As I said, spent most of this race a lap down, got his lap back. Now he's made the most of it, getting up here in the 17th position. So, well done to Ormy. Courtney Lynn will be in this car for Auto Club next week, because it is her home race, along with Nathan Ormond. We'll see Christian Williams at our first road course race, just for the Cup drivers that weekend. As looks like Courtney Lynn try to get back on the lead lap. Not going to be successful. And now she'll be put back one lap down. So not the day that Courtney Lynn was hoping for. But Jerry Harvick looking for his third win in the Winston Cup Series, first on the season. Or Jerry Harvick is one of the drivers that is locked into the All-Star race because of that. Two laps to go. White flag was just displayed over the Bonavita Chevrolet out of Joe Gibbs Racing. One more lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. And it looks like Jerry Harvick is going to go to victory lane. It'll be his third Winston Cup win, his first of the season. Jerry Harvick will win the United Rentals 500 here today at Phoenix. A wonderful race for Jerry Harvick. No doubt will put him into the All-Star race as a result. And he came into this race, Jerry did. Came in this race 11th in points. This will put him in the top 10 in the points, leaving today's race here for the Winston Cuppers. So standings are now official. Josephine Bouvier, great run for a driver, came into this race 44th in the points. Start on the pole, led a good part of this race. Will settle for second. Annie Thomas in third. Where in the world did Jessica Miller come from in the 9? In fourth. Came in this race 13th in the points. This will put her in the top 10 of the standings leaving today. Sean Art got 5th. Senor was 23rd in the points. So Sean, who was like in the 20s and 30s for most of this race, played some pitch strategy, got himself a top 5. Well done, Senor Sean. Kevin Joseph will get 6th, 22nd in the points. Annie Thomas 21st. This will get them in the top 20. Luke Knight, well-needed run for a driver who really has been struggling. 46th in the points, and with a lot of drivers ahead of him that struggled today, this will definitely get him inside the top, hopefully the top 35, but it's a good start for Luke Knight. Vanko Seaman gets 8th, Margaret Jacobs 9th, and good run for Lauren Grubius. Started on the outside of the front row, stayed up there in the top 10 all race long, never had any problems all race. She will come home in the 10th position, will be the highest of our rookies in this race. Top 15 completed by Ben Tennyson, Michael Anderson, Riley Anderson, Jay Green, and Cody Smart. Nathan Ormond got 17th. Remember, Nathan Ormond fell a lap down, was running like 38th for most of this race, got the caution he needed to get back on the lead lap, comes all the way back to get a 17th result. Well done to him. Matty Crenshaw, 16th, came this race as the points leader. The good news is, as you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, the gal that was trying to run her down for the points lead, Tatum Wright, finished as the last car on the lead lap in 31st. So I definitely would say that Matty Crenshaw will keep the points lead, though, although some of the drivers around her in points are going to cut into that points lead as far as that's concerned. These drivers did not have themselves a very good day. I can tell you that for sure. Courtney Lynn tried to get it back on the lead lap, tried to get a caution, never happened. Fell lap down again, never recovered. 32nd for her. Betty Barrett got involved in our first caution, stayed a lap down, never recovered. 33rd for her. And Betty Barrett came into this race 28th in the points. I'd be a little concerned about that because remember, after next week, we have this season's owner points to worry about, and I'd be worried about Betty Barrett, one of our playoff drivers from last season. Ashley Horton, 35th. Tough break for Luna Farmer. Had herself a very good run, tried to stay out of trouble, got caught up in several incidents through no fault of her own, and some drivers just committing female abuse on Luna Farmer because she had a mechanical problem. She still finishes the race 36th place. Daniel Gitteroth out of the race. We're going to actually look at his incident in just a second. Drake Robertson, Brad Lewis, Mia Watts, Betty Johnson, Monica Towns all did not reach the conclusion of the race. As a matter of fact, let's go back and see what happened to the 39 of Daniel Gitteroth because he was out of the race. And I'm starting to wonder if those skid marks in turn 3 had something to do with it. As we're going to look at the replay real quickly, and then we'll go to the pace car. Then we'll sign off for today. So apparently, yeah, looks like he had mechanical problems. It looks like, and apparently he just missed the pit lane. So that pretty much just ended his misery of a day, if you ask me. But there you go. And tough break for some of these drivers. So a lot of drivers who really needed some good runs today got good runs. A lot of drivers running well in points going to take some hits. So Phoenix International Raceway played its part in a point shakeup. We're going to have ourselves a point shakeup heading into next week's race. Well, thank you guys for joining me for today's race. Also, thank you to Danny Johnson as well as Alex for joining me in the booth while I was commentating this race. If you enjoyed these... yeah, the air horn went off. If you enjoyed this race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your full finisher results. Your point standings are down in the description. Heading into next week at Auto Club as we wrap up the first part of the West Coast Tour for these drivers. We'll have pole day qualifying on Thursday for trucks, pole day qualifying for Busch on Friday, the truck race on Friday, the Busch race on Saturday with Cup qualifying also on Saturday, the Cup race on Sunday, and then we'll take a week off before the Winston Cuppers go to France for pole day qualifying on Saturday and the race on Sunday. Until then, for our studio engineer, Alex, Danny Johnson, our studio engineer, Caleb Hobbs, I'm Dean DeVos. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye from Phoenix, Arizona. At the Phoenix International Raceway, we congratulate J Harvick on his first win of the season. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. See you next week from Auto Club. You've been watching the World Racing Association of Race Racing since 2013.